Hey guys, Darren with the Educator's Arrow here. So back in about 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, I was gifted with an old wooden Browning recurve. Now, having been somebody that shot tournaments for years with a compound, I'd kind of messed around before. In fact, in 2005, I hunted with a recurve, and I actually killed a really nice buck that year. But then I went right back to the compound. So that year, I think it was 2019, I decided to hunt with this wooden recurve. My dad hunted with a recurve for years, killed some nice deer with it. So I decided that year to just hunt the whole season. People were like, oh, did you just hunt October and then switch during November to the compound? I was like, nope, when I do something, I do it the whole way. And so I went right in all season with the recurve. Ended up killing a nice doe that year with that old Browning, and I was kind of hooked. So after that, I wanted to get a little newer bow, something I wouldn't be as worried about the limbs twisting on. And so guys have asked me, what did you get? How did you make that switch? How should I think about making that switch? Now, I'm not really here to recommend brands to you, but I'm going to show you what I got and what's worked for me, and I've had some success the last 6 years. So I went to look, and I ended up buying this Southwest Archery 62-inch takedown recurve. Several brands make a bow real similar to this. Samick Sage is a lot like this. Then there's a few others. Anyway, they're not expensive. This bow was probably under $200. I think now, several years later, it's probably right at $200. I bought 45-pound limbs for it. Now that's 45 pounds at 28 inches. That's how recurves and longbows, that's how they're measured. They're always measured at 28 inches on their weight. So if you pull more than 28 inches, it's going to stack up and have more poundage. If you pull less, it's going to be less. At my draw, when I have measured it on a scale, right there is 42 pounds. So that's what I'm shooting on whitetails, 42 pounds. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, I realize, but I tell you, it is plenty for a whitetail, Midwest whitetail. That is no problem. So 45-pound limbs, 62-inch takedown recurve. Equipment on it, there's not a whole lot. My buddies that have hunted with the recurve for years, several of them recommended one of these, and I'm not sure if you know what these are. I'll tell you what it is. It is a clicker, that's what it's called, and they were made as draw checks originally, I believe. So they make a tiny click, and I don't even know if you can hear it on the camera. I've kind of got it quietened down. We'll listen and see. Okay, you might have heard that. So it was a draw check, and you're at the same point each time when you did it. However, what they really are good for is overcoming target panic, or buck fever, some people call it. That loss of control when you're back there and you're holding a full draw and you just want to let it go. Especially it's very predominant with traditional style hunting because you're holding so much weight. And with that weight, you're just saying, let it go. So with that, you just pull until you hear that clicker. So the whole time I'm pulling, I'm just aiming and pulling through that clicker. I hear it click, I let go. That it kind of eliminates all that rush, that fear, and I can make a lot better shot that way. So these probably 20 bucks, something like that. There's newer ones out there. This one came with a chain and a little rope. The chain is not loud. You don't hear it rattle or anything, but there's newer ones out there that have no chain and maybe they're better. I don't know. This one works just fine for me. So I got a $200 bow. I got a $20 clicker. I put about a $5 to $10 plastic flipper rest. This one's a Hoyt rest. I think Bear makes one too. I bought 2 of them in case I ever break one. But yeah, just that. And then I put a little arrow holder. And these things are really handy. They're not as important hunting with a compound, but with a recurve, that compound, if you're using like a drop away rest, it kind of holds your arrow in place better. With that recurve, man, that thing just keeps your arrow, and as soon as you start to draw, it lets go. So I would recommend getting one of those. Now, as far as shooting, I use Black Eagle Rampage arrows. Same thing I hunted with a compound. I use 4-inch shield cut feathers on there, and I'm shooting 200 grains at the tip. The other probably critical thing is I like to shoot full length arrows, so I don't cut these a bit. So by the time my broadhead's on there and the nock and everything, I've probably got 36 inches of arrow on there. And the reason being, like I said, I came from the compound world. I was a fairly successful compound archer, won some national tournaments over the years. And I'm an aimer. I don't like the thought of instinctive style shooting. I'm sure it works for some people where you just draw back and let go. I don't like that thought. I want to aim. And so with this full length arrow, it gives me that ability. I can use that kind of like a rough, crude sight pin and figure out where it goes on the target at whatever yardage I'm at. For instance, at 20 yards, I'm aiming just at the bottom of the heart on a deer. I let it go, and it usually goes in there somewhere into the lung area, heart-lung area. So I like a full-length arrow to do it that way. As far as broadheads goes, I use 200 grain. I was recommended to get single bevels by my buddies that have been doing this a long time, and I did, and I've never looked back. Single bevel, 2-blade broadheads. These are 200 grain A. Bowyer. A. Bowyer is the brand. There's a lot of them out there. They're good. The good ones are expensive. They're not cheap. These are going to cost you 25, maybe 30 bucks a piece. You're looking at $75 to $100 for a pack of 3, but they're worth it, I think. I've had pass-throughs on most of the deer I've shot using them with a 42-pound recurve, if that tells you anything. And they leave a great blood trail. So that's what I like, guys. When I'm actually shooting, I got a Black Widow tab. Again, not a very expensive tab, maybe 20 bucks, 22 bucks, something like that. There's more expensive tabs out there. There's probably cheaper ones. The way I shoot is 3 under. So meaning all 3 of my fingers are under the arrow. And if you'll notice here, notice that my second nocking point is down a little bit, probably about 3/8 of an inch below my nock. The reason being is, like I told you, I'm a compound guy. I like to aim. For me to get my arrow with this setup on target where I want it, I have to have my fingers down here. So I put that nock there. I just slide my tab up till it hits that nock, and that's where I start. So I don't know. It works for me. 42 pound. I don't mind shooting a shot out to 25 yards. I feel very comfortable at that distance, and as far as keeping in the heart-lung area. And so, I don't know. I think you should give it a try. If you have any interest in it, feel free to shoot some comments. If you have any questions, let me know. And good luck. Dead deer.